Now it's time for data points, and tonight we're focusing on the road maintenance levy, which is charged on every litre of diesel and petrol that you buy at the petrol stations. It's at the rate of 25 shillings per litre, and the current target by the government is 115 billion shillings per year. After, of course, you may recall that last year there was an increment from 18 shillings to 25 shillings. I'll be telling you how those resources are shared. At the moment, 15 shillings go to road maintenance and rehabilitation as well as development, which is based on the different agencies. I'll be telling you what those agencies are. There's some 3 shillings out of that goes to the annuity fund. The annuity fund goes to financing roads that are under that program, which also includes the PPPs, that is public-private partnership roads. And then the 7 shillings, the extra 7 shillings that was secured last year, has been securitized by the Kenya Roads Board to be in a position to finance some pending bills. I'll give the details shortly from now. But first, let's look at how the sharing of that resource is. Remember, 15 shillings goes to the agencies. So out of that 15 shillings per litre, 40% goes to the Kenya National Highways Authority, responsible for national highways. Then 32% of that 15 shillings goes to the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, which is responsible for construction of roads in the 290 constituencies. Then there is the Kenya Urban Roads Authority that takes 15% of the allocation. The Kenya Wildlife Service takes 1% to construct roads that are within those facilities that KWS is able to oversee. And then Kenya Roads Board remains with some 2%, which is responsible for administrative costs at the national level, but also across different parts of the country. Let's take a look at the next slide, which tells us about the disbursements for the financial year 2023-2024. This is the year ending June 2024. That is last year. Road annuity resources were up to the tune of 12.2 billion shillings. Remember, the 3 shillings from every litre that you buy, that is giving the total of 12.2 billion shillings. The Kenya National Highways Authority took 27.7 billion shillings. The Kenya Rural Roads Authority got 21.2 billion shillings. Again, the roads in the constituencies. And the Kenya Urban Roads Authority got 9.9 billion shillings. And the KWS got 662 million shillings. Let's take a look at the next one, which tells us about the sharing of the RMLF. Again, remembering that 32% of the resources of 15 shilling per litre goes to the KERA, Kenya Rural Roads Authority. The amount per constituency for the financial year 2023-2024 was 63 million shillings. So the roads that you hear your local member of parliament talking about, the allocation of 63 million shillings for every constituency. The next one tells us about the composition of these constituencies. So there are constituency roads committees that are responsible for allocating resources, the 63 million shillings to the roads within that constituency. So the membership looks like this. The National Government Constituency Development Fund, the NGCDF committee, contributes up to 4 people in that committee. The member of parliament is a member of that committee. The Kenya Rural Roads Authority, a regional representative, one of them is sent to that committee. The planning department at the national level, but of course representing that ministry at that level, one representative, and the deputy county commissioner is also represented in that committee. And then special interest groups have 2 representatives forming that committee. So this is important because there has been a conversation that members of parliament are involved in the sharing of resources for roads. You can see there the law provides for one member, or for the member of parliament to be represented in the committee. The other slide talks about what the government has done. Again, remember the 7 shillings that was raised last year, albeit in a controversial manner, will give rise to the extra money that raises from a target of about 88 billion shillings to 115 billion shillings per year. So the government, through the Kenya Roads Board, has recognized there are some pending bills in the road sector of up to 175 billion shillings. There's also an annual demand of maintenance of 157 billion shillings, but the road maintenance levy fund is only getting 115 billion shillings in form of collections from every litre and petrol sold. And now the next one will tell tell us about how that looks like, because the government has decided to securitize the 7 shillings of every litre for a period of 10 years. So this means they are hoping to raise up to 175 billion shillings, which will take care of the pending bills in the road sector. And beyond that, the argument by the Kenya Roads Board and the Ministry of Roads and Transport is that this will be in a position in the next slide to convert future cash flows of the road maintenance levy fund into upfront capital through bond issuance. And of course, the government is hoping to clear these pending bills with these resources. So what that means is that the resources that would have been expected will give more money for maintenance is actually being used to clear the pending bills in the road sector. And of course, this has been a conversation continuing in the country, with the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga saying that actually members of parliament should have no role in management of the road maintenance levy fund, and especially at the constituency level. I don't know what you think, and of course we'll be seeing what this will look like in the future. At a time, the president has said we should leave those resources to the national level for management. And that's Data Point for this week.